What's going on, guys? We're going to be doing the mountain off-road steering correction. We're going to do the stage 1. If you're doing that, your Jeep probably looks something like mine. We're running 2.5-inch spring over, Rubicon Express springs, sprung over. It's just your standard Dana 30. I wanted to keep it that way. Don't ask me why, I just did. We'll do a quick thing. You're gonna get your tires off on both sides. Knock them guys out. Go over, take your cotter keys. Pull them out. Get a hammer or a pair of needle nose pliers. Pliers. If they don't want to come out, sometimes you can grab them and just rotate them out. Not like that. If you do that, you can come back to the other side and do the same thing. Take your impact, or a 3/4 inch wrench, or a 19mm. I got a 3/4 inch socket on there. Buzz that out. You're not gonna be using that anymore, so if you were gonna reuse that, you gotta tap it here really hard, but I'm just gonna send it through. That's out. Here. On this side, same thing, knocked out. Up there and take that guy out. Pull the cotter key out of that guy. I happen to have a 19mm ratchet wrench. That's one tip. If you're running a YJ, most of your hardware is gonna be 19 or 3/4, which is essentially the same size. So you're gonna get that off. You're gonna drive that out. All right, now that's out. Now you can either choose to remove that, which I believe is a 32mm, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but you're gonna need a pit and arm puller or maybe a modified pickle fork. I don't suggest hammering on that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna end up drilling that while it's in there. That's not that big of a deal to me. Same thing with this side. I'm not gonna be removing this knuckle. I'm gonna drill that out on the vehicle. Although, maybe we will. I don't know. We're gonna be removing this side. Maybe we won't. We'll see. I do have a milling machine that I can do that in. All right. See you guys. Oh, you guys gotta remove your steering stabilizer, which is hidden in the chaos here. Okay. Again, like all the other hardware on the Jeep, the steering stabilizer on this side is a 19mm. You don't need to remove that side because you're taking it all out as one assembly, unless you're just weird and you want to. I don't know. All right. 12mm on these guys. Again, this is the passenger side or right side brake caliper. Those out. I like to take the caliper and just stick it up on the perch here. Sneak your bolts inside of it. Alright, so our brakes off, steering's disconnected. Now we're going to take those guys off. Those wheel bearing bolts are a 13mm 12-point. What I like to do is put the wrench on there, make sure it's on there nice and square, and just give it a tap. Alright, so what I did is I pulled your 3 bolts out. 1, 2, and 3. I took a bolt that fits inside of here really good. I put a bolt in there and I took the hammer and tapped that and it popped the whole wheel bearing out. So now what you can do is grab that whole assembly and you can pull that whole assembly out as one without taking your axle shaft out and take all this stuff apart. This actually will save you from messing up your wheel bearings, because a lot of times the wheel bearing will get stuck inside here, and I've never had this one apart. The wheel bearing will get stuck inside there, and you'll start hammering on it, and you'll actually separate the two halves of the wheel bearing. By doing it like this, the wheel bearing never gets separated. All right, you can take the cotter pins out of the upper and lower ball joint. I used 1 1/8 and 1/8, I believe, for the bottom one, and I used a 7/8 wrench. I'm not sure if those are the exact sizes, but they worked. So now you're gonna take a hammer and you're gonna smack here and here, and it should drop apart when you do that enough times. And there you go. Knuckle is off. Now I have to wait for the kit to come in, and we will be cleaning up this upper surface so that the body attaches to it flat. All right, see you guys when the kit gets here. All right, steering kit just showed up, so I'm gonna unbox that quick. So here is everything that came in the kit. You got your spacers, which are that doesn't contact. You got your bracket there that we're gonna be drilling and attaching it to the stock knuckle, and your hardware. I opted for the zinc plated. It was actually cheaper, and I think I like the look of it more. It kind of looks kind of like older retro off-road. I don't know. And if anything, you paint over it afterwards. All right. Next thing's next is you could. All right. Looking at the knuckle like this, there's a casting line that runs across here. You could take an angle grinder or a belt sander or whatever you got, and just take that off, so that the bracket sits on there flat. I have an angle grinder, but I like using a file for things like this, so I'm going to use a file. So I ground this so that it sits flat across there, and then the back side of the knuckle over here, you have to clearance that so that this will sit flush. Oh, there it is. So this will sit flush. You can see right there that it's not. That's also because the bolt's not tight, but that's clearanced. I don't know if you can see there's a gap between there, so when I tighten that up, that'll be fine. And then the next thing you're gonna do after you have that filed flat and notched so that this fits on here snug without these being spaced away, you're gonna mark these holes. All right, so now you're gonna take that and you're gonna take your 27/64 drill bit and you're gonna drill those so they're centered. And then you're gonna unbolt the bracket and drill. Next step is you're gonna take your, what size was this one? I believe it's 21/64, yeah. You're gonna take your 21/64, which is your tap drill size for these holes, and you're gonna drill all the way straight down through and try to drill it as straight as possible. I was gonna do it in the milling machine, but it doesn't clamp in my vise that great because of the lower ball joint. But yep, we'll go from there. And then as you can see there, I drilled all the way through with that drill bit. I was just double checking the fit with the bracket. Next step is to take your 3/8 24 tap and tap those holes. All right, you guys are gonna get this lined up the best that you can. I have all my stuff where it's supposed to be, and this hole's way off. But anyways, I'm gonna send it down through here, and I think that it'll be good. You don't want to wobble out either of these holes. You want them to be nice and straight so that there's no slop in the steering. So now you're gonna take your 5/8 drill bit. You're gonna punch that hole out. You're gonna drill the hole out for your pitman arm. And like I showed you, you're gonna drill the hole for the 5/8 hole for that guy right there. I'm pretty sure they don't recommend you using a hand drill to do this. It is very easy to go off center or oblong the hole, and you're gonna get slop in your steering, and your steering's gonna be shit. I do suggest do it in a drill press, but if you don't have one and you're willing to take a little bit of time, you can definitely do this. And if you're doing it to a Dana 30, the parts are everywhere, so if you mess a hole up, you can easily get another knuckle from the junkyard and fix it. All right, so now basically it's gonna be a reassembly of everything. We're gonna put that back on. We're gonna put the tie rods on, and I'll show you the finished product. Again, this is the mountain off-road steering correction for Jeep YJ. Again, I'm running Rubicon Express spring over springs. These are like 3/4 inch lift shackles. I'm currently running a 35, and it's right around 46 inches to the bottom of the tube fenders, and this is like a generic Amazon tube fender. It's pretty decent. But yeah, my bump steer's gone. I do need to do sway bar still. I may do a anti-rock sway bar. I'm not 100% correct. Sure what I'm gonna do. But there you go, quick, simple. It fixed all my steering problems. And like everything else with Jeeps, on to the next